una vi. No.
Good morning,
Like
Comic.
Lord.
Wake up, sleepyhead.
Rise and shine.
I need some coffee.
All right, everyone, grab your comics and let's get ready for the show. Well, almost forgot. Hit that subscribe button.
All right, Grand Rising. What BCL family, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome to another new show, morning show, Black Comic Lords morning show. Hope y'all doing all right. Either on your way to work, you waking up, getting your coffee, get your vibranium, you know what I'm saying? Get whatever you need to get the week going. It's Monday morning, and hope you guys are doing all right, for real. So we got an update for Captain America 4, Brave New World, with this weekend, BCL coming in, well, Captain America 4 coming in with about 28 million for American domestic for the weekend. That's about a 68% drop from the previous week. Yo, Mr. DC Comics, what's going on, y'all? We got He Who Trolls. He'll be in here in about 5 to 10 minutes. He'll be coming in here. You know, he's doing this thing, Troll Gang. You know what it is. But yeah, we got 68% drop for Captain America 4. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think this is the path for the W that I think we want for this movie. I mean, sure, it didn't beat the Marvels, had about a 70%. And then you had like Quantum Mania had a 70% as well drop. So it's not the worst of the worst, but it's not the best of the best. We're looking at 289 million worldwide for Captain America 4. And it's only going to get harder from here. Like Hirsch mentioned before in the previous episode, the bulk of your money comes from your first weekend. And then after that, you know, you got incremental drops and returns. And ideally, if you can get a 50% drop for your next weekend, if you're in the 50s, you're looking good. If you're in the lower 60s, okay, it's kind of getting dicey. But if you're in the upper 60s to 70s, that's not good. That's not good at all. So Captain America 4 is probably going to end around the same. It's charting to end around the same box office as Captain America, the First Avenger, potentially around there, but it could be worse. I think it's going to barely get to maybe 500. I mean, it's internationally it's at 148. The scores from the audience scores, I forgot the specific rating, but not the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. But the overall, I forgot the name of the rating, but it's got a B- cinema score. I think that's what's called, cinema score. And usually when you have something, you want something at least in the A's or B plus, worse, B plus. B- is really sort of, in the industry terms, almost like a C or a D. It's not good. So Mr. DC Comics says Red Notice did bad at the box office, but was successful on streaming. Maybe same for Cap 4. I think that might be the problem, because the streaming platform has obviously changed the dynamics of the movie industry. And you got a lot of people who are basically going to wait to watch it on Disney Plus free of charge. Charles Stewart the Third, what's going on, man? Good morning to you. Grand Rising, man. Grand Rising. And Disney Plus, a lot of people's complaints that it did feel like a Disney Plus show to a certain degree. Like this should have been season 2 for Falcon and Winter Soldier, or this felt kind of Disney Plus-esque in terms of maybe the cinematography, maybe the scale, and sort of the scale and the epicness of the action. I mean, there's definitely a visual difference between you look at something like Winter Soldier and compare it to Falcon Winter Soldier. And those kind of debates is in movies in general, how cinematography and the visual language of filmmaking has sort of changed between these last 5 to 10, 15 years, overall quality. But it needs the money in the box office. I don't think you don't put out a movie so that it's number one in streaming, unless you go directly on streaming. Not with the budget that this movie has, which we don't know precisely, because they're going to cap on it. They're going to cap for cap, which I don't doubt. You got to protect your leading brand. When you're leading brands, you got to cap for cap. You got to do that. So it's not a win if it catches thunder on streaming. I don't think that's not the goal. The goal was to make your money, the bulk of your money in box office. Back in the day when you had DVD and VHS sales, DVD sales, that was like, oh man, we recouped our money thanks to the DVD sales, or caught a second life on home release. And I know digital releases is sort of in that same category, but it's still not quite the same, because you literally just wait a few extra weeks for no extra charge on a streaming platform. So that's the deal with Cap 4. I think that this is not going to, overall, some people are going to say it did well, some people are going to say it did bad, but in the reality of it, in terms of what they were trying to do with this film, the reshoots, and also the campaigning for Anthony Mackie on a presidential run of campaigning for this film, this needed at least to get in about 700 would have been sort of respectable. I think 700 would have been like average. That would have been like a C plus in terms of like, okay, or C minus in terms of a box office return. Charles Stu III, you say, what do you think the monetary success and word of mouth would have been if it was Steve Rogers in this movie? But you leave the movie exactly the same, beat for beat, include all the shoots and the edits. If Steve Rogers was in it instead of Sam, I think you might erase some of the woke criticisms that this movie has, which is still undeserving. But again, most people who define the word woke, it's just basically non-straight white male. Anything non-straight white male is woke to some of these guys. But overall, the quality wasn't there. For the plot was very shoddy. It was very shaky. The leader looked, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it yet, we're going to go into spoilers, but it's 2 weeks now. The leader looked ridiculous, and his story didn't make any sense. And it was far less of they try to disguise it as a political thriller, but it's not much of a political thriller. It really isn't. It would have fell apart. So in comparison, especially like a Winter Soldier, in comparison to a Civil War, which is like an Avengers 2.5 movie, if Steve Rogers was still Cap, or even we want to say they made John Walker Captain America and put him in this film, as it currently stands, it still would not have held up to the standard. It had a high standard. Winter Soldier, you can't out Winter Soldier the Winter Soldier. And I think they kind of I think they first tried to attempt that with basically Isaiah Bradley being the stand-in for Bucky, which in the end didn't make much sense, because Bucky was running for Senate, a U.S. Congress. He's a congressman in the same universe where he killed King T'Chaka and Howard Stark and a whole bunch of other people, but he's running for Congress. And so you have, everyone knows his backstory, but yet Isaiah Bradley being mind controlled was too far-fetched, and you had to leave him in jail for 2/3 of the movie. I was like, okay, that didn't add up. That did not add up at all. Miss DC Comics says, in my opinion, people wanted Cap 4 to fail. There was hate for the movie before the first trailer. Of course. Oh yeah, of course. Negativity. It was all on the internet. You can still see it on the internet. People are eating right now, getting paycheck off just talking bad about this movie. And I think it's a weird middle ground. It's a mess sandwich, It's a weird middle ground. I don't think it was the absolute worst, and I don't think it definitely wasn't good, but people got their agendas, and negativity sells in this sort of social media economy. And people got their agendas for it. I think they're going to be happy. I don't think it's going to be hard to defend this box office. It's going to be hard to defend this box office. I'm not sure if you guys looking around, see how many people are rocking a Captain America merch or shirt or whatever. When you go to a gym, you can see at least someone wearing a Superman shirt or a Captain America shirt. And just take a vibe check. Look at, see what the toy section is looking like, how many figures are being sold, how much merch is being sold. The overall excitement is very divisive. Very divisive in the realm in terms of it's almost like a civil war of the internet. Yo, he who trolls. What's up, man?
I'm finally here, man. Dropped my daughter off, so I'm back on the show, man. Anyways, I heard you come in on divisiveness, and I know you still talking about Cap 4, man.
Nah, go ahead, bro.
Bro, where can I start? I'm not like, I get it. This movie, can you hear me clear?
I hear you loud and clear, man.
This movie has some issues. It wasn't great. This is not Infinity Wars. This is not Endgame. This is not Black Panther. It's not even Captain Marvel times. Because when those movies came out, Marvel could do no wrong. Ant-Man 1, Ant-Man 2, Shang-Chi was a part of that drop-off. But, hey, this is a part of the rebuild. But I think that you can only squeeze so much out of this film. And I think there's still some people that's like, I'm not going to go see this unless you give me in-game level movie. Even Deadpool Wolverine that came out last year, it made $1.3 billion. But if that film would have came out, right before Endgame, oh my God, that
$2 billion.
Close. It was the cinema. I think a lot of people have checked out on the movies. Even if Black Panther, if Herschel's about to go dark. If Black Panther came out today with all its rage, if Black Panther came out today with all the rage, I would be really interested to see what the numbers it could have done, because everybody hates everything now. And people, this is almost 20 years of MCU, man. I would be interested to see what the dollars and cents would have looked like, man. I'd have been real interested in seeing the numbers.
Well, you think a solo hero can work nowadays? Can one hero for the movie, or do you need the cameos now?
Solo hero movie, like pure solo, like it's just based around them. Black Widow, Spider-Man, you can't count that.
Nah.
All of his movies has been bangers, but you can't really count that.
Shang-Chi? Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi was not. Shang-Chi was just an Asian dude in a jacket walking around, and with that bracelet, man. I mean, I think they could have dived more to the mythos, but the deeper you dig into Shang-Chi, the more racist it gets, right?
Right.
All those stereotypes and stuff like that. I enjoy it? I thought it was not as good as this, but very close to how good this was, in my opinion. Man. So if that even makes sense. We're gonna switch gears though. I know you were talking about Invincible. You made a statement. It's bold in your face. White people's Dragon Ball Z. Now, I've seen all the Invincible seasons, but I have not watched this one yet. Can you explain to the audience this statement about white people's Dragon Ball Z for the Invincibles?
Oh, man. So when it comes to Invincible and the storytelling, you have obviously the parallel between Omni-Man and his home planet of the Viltrumites being essentially the Saiyan race from Dragon Ball Z. The warrior race, they go out, they conquer planets, they take over planets for Lord Frieza, and they dominate the galaxies. And the Viltrumites in Invincible is the same exact thing. You have Grayson, who is basically your Goku-esque character, who basically is positive, trying to do the right thing, try to defend Earth, defend his family against his dark heritage, which where he gets his power from. And the storytelling, it is pretty. If it's a lot of different parallels to it, man. It's basically American. It's basically American Dragon Ball Z.
At
In that regard.
least they're trying to. I mean, Invincible is trying to stay afloat with everything
Hmm.
else that's going on, but it's like it's not a bad show,
No.
but it's a lot of filler episodes.
Mm.
It's a lot of filler episodes. I haven't seen this season. I will watch it. But every time, like last year when they had a season, X-Men '97 came out, and
Yep.
it completely washed Invincibles from your brain.
Dogged them pretty much.
I mean, dog walked them, and it's just like, no. And we won't even see. Allegedly, we were not even going to see season 2 of X-Men '97 to 26 and 27. Like I don't even know. Understand how that even makes sense. But it's not coming anytime soon. Like, how do you
No.
not have a season every freaking year? Damn near 2 seasons every year. Like, what the frick are you thinking, Marvel? But speaking of what are you thinking, Marvel? Let me transition here. Rob Liefeld, who is the creator of Deadpool, is extremely controversial. Probably way more controversial to me. Rob Liefeld is Mr. Like, he is very active on social media. He's in his Facebook groups. If you say anything crazy about him or even sideways, he will block you. He is notorious for just blocking people. But after Captain America 4 came out this week, he says, and he had a whole little, we got to talk, Friday we're going to talk a little bit more about Rob Liefeld. He had a bad experience at the Deadpool Wolverine premiere. They didn't let him in certain rooms. They didn't greet him. They just kind of treated him like trash. So he didn't like that. He basically came out like last week or 2 weeks ago and talked about his experience. And this week he said, Kevin Feige got to go. And I was
Ooh.
shocked. He said it's time for him to step down. And I said, yo. And now a lot of people say, oh, you're just saying that because they treated you bad. Well, if they treated you bad, that's wrong. But I'm starting to think too that might grab some traction. I mean, Kevin Feige's done a lot of great things, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If I had to roll the dice at who I would like to be the CEO or the head guy moving forward, it'd be the Russo brothers. Yeah, it'll be the Russo brothers. Freak
Okay.
out of here, man.
Okay.
It'll absolutely
Okay.
be the Russo brothers.
Well, they got him back for Doomsday and Secret Wars. They got him back.
And I'm looking at the Russo brothers like, what the freak else are y'all known for? Like, I mean, maybe y'all doing some international films, or this is not really my passion. I just happen to be a part of it. I don't know, but
They got a few
dude,
movies on Netflix and some other things, but they ain't
But
pop
nobody
off
cares.
they
Nobody
haven't had a
cares.
pop off since Avengers.
Yeah, nobody cares, man.
I mean, dynasties come to an end, yo. The Steelers dynasty come, Yankees dynasty comes to an end. You know what I mean? Like, no one reigns on top forever, right? So
No. Except for
I would-
Alabama down there. Alabama tried.
Alabama,
Alabama tried.
yeah,
Hey, hard.
right.
Almost 2 decades they was ranked.
Almost 2 decades. Shoot, even New England. You know what I mean? Like the show got to end.
New England, they toast. They really cook now.
They cooked now. Hope you enjoyed your 6 Super Bowls because
7. I think it was 7, wasn't it?
Brady got the 7.
All right, so your boy Charles says X-Men 97 2 is going to be held up in the development held because of Old DeMaio and the fact that the direction and writing was all from him. Now that he's pretty ousted, they're stuck. Well, if they've already paid him, you know what I think they're probably trying to figure out. They've already paid him for the first and second season, but they don't want to probably pay him the residuals. So they're probably rewriting everything. Maybe from season 2. I'm speculating, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody in there that's like, oh, that's not how it's done. You don't know what the heck you're talking about. No, listen, I don't know how it's done. I just don't understand why it's taking so long. And the Mayos got them in litigation. I don't know. My thing is, bro, the best you're gonna get is some money, but they'll never hire you back to run the show. I mean, basically, a lot of stuff that DeMaio was doing has been proven. He's been proven guilty. Like they said, like people have come forth and said, like, yeah, he was horrible. Like it's overwhelmingly people that was like attacking him. So I don't know.
Oh
It's
man,
weird.
the crash out for Bo is kind of weird, man. I think unfortunately he's put himself in a situation where this is how he's gonna make a living for himself and a name for himself is I did this. Because if you look at his approach, for better or for worse, no one's gonna hire him again to be a showrunner. No one's gonna put him on their team to write for their series. No one's gonna do that. He's blacklisted himself. He's
Well,
outed
he's
himself from the
overly
industry.
blacklisted himself now.
Overly blacklisted himself
Yeah.
with his approach. So, he's gonna hit up these conventions. He's gonna probably write a book, tell these stories, and for the fans and this and that. But that's how he's gonna make his living now, man.
His cash flow got to be probably if this was like turn into his his sustainability. I mean, his cash flow's got to be. It's going to start, if not already, started running dry. They didn't pay him millions of dollars to write this.
No,
he was $1,000 to write this. That's how these big boys do that. They don't pay you top dollar. So highlighting the Sam's Cap films are within the title of each movie, with the exception of Brave New World. Sam's highlight improves to be a better Cap. Steve is boring. Yeah, you're probably the only person that's probably gonna stand on that. Most people, listen, he's just as good as Steve, maybe better in certain circumstances because he doesn't have the freaking serum and he's able to do all this stuff. And it's obviously the suspension of imagination here and there, but Steve is gonna be Steve. He's got the bigger fan base. He's got the bigger draw. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of the narrative that he was fine as Falcon. Like, yeah, but if he's Falcon, he doesn't get his own show. Y'all don't support his comments. Let's move on. I'm not saying that's how you feel, buddy. This is Holy Q Force.
Holy Q Force.
Nah, but I'm starting to see. Listen, the blowback from this week, the people online were going in on this movie. All the haters and racists and people that they were like coming out in droves because remember last week, people overwhelmingly were the dominating line was it was good. And now it was like soon as it takes a hit, second week, oh, everybody's piling on top. Everybody's piling on top. Oh yeah, it was trash. This is woke. And we don't need a black Cap. Everybody has the gates to Jurassic Park is open. Come on in and start talking some shiggity, man. Man.
But yeah, respect your opinion, man, for sure. I mean, I can see, there's aspects of Sam's character that can be more entertaining than Steve. I didn't like Steve till Winter Soldier. I think a lot of people didn't care about Captain America until Winter Soldier, to be honest with you. It was Iron Man and his buddies, basically, until Winter Soldier. That's when Steve was like, okay, he's equal. He's equal to Tony. He's equal to Iron Man.
Imagine if they would have led in with Captain America instead of Iron Man. Wow. We wouldn't be talking. Things might have been different. Iron Man who was a BA. A lot of people say, you see this. Bro, Iron Man had video games, merch, cartoons, like at least 2 cartoons, 60s and the 90s.
In the 90s, yeah.
He was now true to form, A-list means that your logo is recognized across the world. Superman, Batman logo is recognized across the world. Wonder Woman, you might have some trouble. But Superman, Batman recognized across the globe. You can go to freaking New Zealand and motherfuckers don't. You can go to Antarctica. Motherfuckers gonna be like, oh yeah, that's Superman's logo. Go take Iron Man, take Black Panther's logo down there. Prior to their hit, hell no, they weren't. So I would say probably like a B. But I'll say this, man. Tell me about, is this Marvel Rivals right here?
Oh yeah, this past week we got a special sneak peek preview of some of the DLC expansion from Marvel Rivals, which pretty much took over Overwatch. It's like the number one game right now on all the major consoles, and they revealed that in this next DLC batch of characters, we're going to get the one and only Blade coming up as a playable character.
So I
So,
haven't played Marvel Rivals.
mhm.
It's sandbox and open world, but it's like what, first person or is it third person?
No, it's third person. It's like pure PvP. It's kind of like my team of heroes versus your team of heroes. We all got our powers and abilities and stats, and we try to basically, defeat each other. And like at a closed arena, you know what I'm saying? It's like a closed arena kind of battle royale. It's a battle royale game essentially, so to speak. But Blade being in the game, we talk about how do you introduce characters, how do you get characters over to the mainstream, how do you maintain popularity and maintain the notoriety of certain characters in video games is definitely up there in terms of how to do it without comic books, without a movie. And for Blade to be in Marvel Rivals and reintroduce him to a whole, it's a lot of young kids playing this. There's a lot of people playing this game who may never have seen a Wesley Snipes movie before, and they're going to be introduced to the character Blade through this game. So, I think it's a good it's a good precursor to the Blade game that's supposed to be coming out next year. I think for the Xbox.
It's still coming out. Blade is coming out for Xbox.
I think they didn't cancel it yet. I think Xbox needs it. They need anything they can get.
They need something, bro. I
They
got a
need
PS5.
something.
I just can't. I can't get
Xbox pretty much waved the white flag. To be honest with you,
and this one game ain't gonna save them. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest with you. If this game is butt, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap.
Ooh, if the Blade game is butt, yeah, it's gonna do more harm than good. But if it's good, like let's say it's good as the Sony Spider-Man games, then Blade's gonna get a new second life.
He'll get a second life in film though. He'll get a second life in film. Those idiots are still mismanaging all that stuff because they're not fans. They're writers, directors, and producers that don't really understand
the material.
Comics. They don't understand the material. If they did, it would be super easy. Super easy. And then they don't want to some of these guys don't even want to respect the original OG writers and artists because they feel like I have to share the prestige because you're the originator of a lot of these stories. And I think that's probably what happened with Rob Liefeld. And I know Rob Liefeld's controversial, but he could have came there, could have acted like what do they call those guys that not a prima donna, a diva. He could have came there act like a diva, but
maybe
keep it simple. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Liefeld? Yeah, we got a red carpet. Da 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 da. Keep it simple. Stop. Treat him with respect. You might have to be all in his face. Introduce, let him come on and talk about the character and kind of that's it. But you ain't gotta kiss his butt. But at least give him the same thing you'll give everybody else, man. Let him screw it up when he gets there.
Right. I think a lot of the comic creators don't get the recognition they deserve because they really created the mythology of the modern era. The Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, X-Men, Superman, Batman. This is our Zeus and Athena and Hercules of our time. This is our mythology. This is our pathology of explaining, the human condition in fiction. So in that regard, like you said, you can go to worldwide, put that Superman logo on the chest, and people know they know what that is. So these creators, I think, don't get the full credit they deserve for essentially making the new gods and goddesses of modern times. If you really think about
it. Is Marvel Rivals free? The game itself's free?
Shoot, I don't think so. I don't got a PS5, so I can't.
So what are you playing on?
I can't play it. I can't play it at all. I got a PS4 and a Switch, man. I'm outdated, dude.
Man,
I'm outdated.
I'm gonna dive in and see if I can get addicted to it.
See if you can dive in, man.
To it, then it's good.
Okay, all heroes are free to play, so you can go in there, be Black Panther, hook up with Storm and just beating everybody
There
up,
you
man.
go. There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Listen, I want to switch some gears to something controversial. Um, there's a lot of there's a form of thought that how you should support Black people. And I want to taper this. So if you're gonna watch this video, it's like a minute 30 seconds. I want to transition it over to Black independent comics and just Black comics in general, because we know Black independent comics, they have to get out of the mud. Unless you
Mm,
already have a nice fan base, your name is like, even Ripper to a certain extent had to get out of the mud because his fan base, he had to he subsequently built that up and then made a decision to do comics. But I don't ever think he created his YouTube platform and a lot of the things that he was the alliances that he made. Oh, this is all for a bigger plan for my
mm,
own MCU. Nah, I just think he had a platform he built up. He was able to utilize that. But I want
right.
you guys to listen to this, and I want you guys to sound off in the comments, and then we're gonna get Black Goliath. So I know y'all saw Black Goliath on the cover. Black Goliath has some choice words for this. You guys understand? All right, here we go. Let me roll the tape.
How much money has Rolex made over the years just because that has been embedded in our minds that that's what we need to go get when we become successful, right? And so in my mind, I was like, if we could get some of these Black celebrities and influencers to champion our brands the way that they do these other European owned brands that don't care nothing about our people, you know, if we turn that global influence inward, what kind of power would that give us? You know what I'm saying? And been talking about that a long time. And so as I'm having these meetings and having these calls with some of these Black celebrities, and they're like, yeah, I got your package. I love the gear, but I'm not going to post it unless you pay $100,000. It's like, but you wearing Nike on your gram and they not paying you. You know what I'm saying? You're tagging Louis and Gucci and all of your posts, but they're not paying you. But you're telling me that in order for you to wear my stuff and for you to give a shout out to Actively Black, I got to pay you $100,000. Like that doesn't make any sense to me. So what that tells me is, even though a lot of these people are publicly portraying a certain image that they're supporting us, it's not really that support. And not only that, it also, to me, lets us know that there's still an inferiority complex, even amongst our biggest and our brightest, that we think European designer is more than our own because of who that is. Like,
So that's a loaded conversation. You still with me?
Oh yeah, I'm still with you, man.
That's a loaded conversation. Now, I know there's a lot of people that's going to listen to that and say, yeah, he's right. I'm 100%. I mean, we talk about this all the time. But guess what, buddy? I disagree with him. And I know y'all saying, oh, this dude's a capitalist. No, listen, I disagree with him. Now, but let's squabble a little bit. It's okay that you agree with him, but what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are,
And we're gonna center this around Black independent comics. We're gonna
Black
go to a
independent
very,
comics.
very dangerous spot, right? Black independent comics.
Oh,
Let's
shoot.
talk about it, because let's apply it to what we do. Black superhero movies, Black independent comics. We can dance around Black businesses as well, but I think this is a conversation that we need to have, and nobody wants to talk about it. But go ahead.
You know what? I'm gonna be politically correct and say, let's say nerd space, comics, video games, the blurred spaces, right? Anime, all cartoons. Let's just say all the nerdy stuff, right? The problem is that why would anyone target us as an audience in this nerd space when all you have to do is go mainstream, get the white people interested, and then we will actively come with it. We promote animes that we're not in. We promote shows, movie. Look at any influencer on Instagram right now. They're actively promoting mainstream stuff that we have pretty much no involvement in, or no involvement in the creation, or maybe even the characters, right? So it's just like, why bother targeting us as an audience when all you have to do is go mainstream? All you got to be is successful in general. and then we'll come out the door. We'll make 5 skits and dress up as your characters and be funny with your characters. We'll have podcasts talking about it. It all comes with the success in general. So I think with the indie, with the Kickstarter bros and the independent comic book scene, it's just sort of like if you end up on Image and you become, okay, not everyone's gonna become the new Robert Kirkman, but if you can get your book on Image, you know what I'm saying, like you're in a better position than just targeting us on social media and trying to get us for Kickstarter. Potentially, it's comics right now is basically, it's just oversaturated, man. It is more creators than buyers. We are a niche market, and there's just, if you're a fan, this is the best time of your life. This is the best time to be a black comic book fan because you have almost unlimited content out there, unlimited stories between the comic shops, between Kickstarter, the internet. You got so many stories. As a creator, you are now competing in a gladiator arena with thousands of other people. How will you going to get the people to choose you as their champion? That's the hard part. That's all I got to say.
So that's a loaded response. But I would challenge you and push back here and say, okay, if you just go mainstream, and I don't want to get too far away from this video because I know a lot of people want to tackle that. If you go really, really mainstream, and white folks are the mainstream audience jumps on, the black folks will follow, in theory. But do we see that with Ripper? Because Ripper went mainstream. Well, is Ripper mainstream? That's debatable. But Ripper has blown up. He's a multi-millionaire now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
are you seeing black people move in concert with the mainstream, like towards his stuff? Like I just went to, I didn't see him, but I went to his booth at MegaCon. I
Mm-hmm.
saw one black person and he was working behind the booth. The line that Ripper had was all white. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that is not a, that is not the aggregate for his main audience. Just well, possibly just white folks, but there is a lot of Negroes that actually support him too. But I have yet to see a black creative create something outside of anime and manga that black people have like ingratiated themselves with and jumped on that is black owned. Black Panther, absolutely. Manga, anime, absolutely. But nothing black owned. I haven't seen that. That they've made skits and it's become a part of pop culture. And this is our hero. We like no, haven't seen that. And for a lot of parts, I think a lot of us are very shy about that because we want them. We a lot of times what I've noticed with some black folks is that we'll wait till somebody else outside of our community says it's hot, gives it some validity, and then we'll say, "Oh, okay, yeah, this ours, this our hero." Like we'll come in later and say, "Yeah, this us," and it's like we don't do that out of the gate always.
Yeah.
But back to his point, he was saying you guys are rocking all these other people's stuff for free; they're not paying you anything. Sure. And but let's just keep it a buck. Back in the day and even now, black people still rock black owned stuff for free. I think influencers though are looking like, yo, if you want me to uh blow up your business and scale it to a certain point, I should be compensated. And your packaging is nice. I can do an unbox video. But if I'm gonna bring my I don't know 100K subs to your book, to your graphic novel, to your video, you need to pay me. You need to pay me for that. And well, what about the white? Because they've already people will say because Gucci and all those bigger brands they've already made it. And how are black people supposed to ever make it if you don't support? I'm not going to ask you for $100,000, but is that worth it in the evaluation? So this guy, I think his company is actively black. The other day, I so happened to see Cam Newton at a camp wearing a sweater. It said actively black. I don't think he paid Cam Newton $100,000. He might have paid him 10K. He might have paid him 20K.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even. I don't know how much I would put on my evaluation because for me, if I wear actively black and I do like a little commercial and I never do it again, and that brand doesn't go anywhere, does it hurt my brand and what I'm doing? Possibly, because now I'm pushing something and it didn't go anywhere. And now, or you might look at me like, dang, bro, only sold like 50 sweaters. And Cam, it was on your show. So yeah, the evaluation of your brand equity to scale my stuff is low. So like, I'd be real picky of who I get behind too. But just to kind of sum it up, we got Black Goliath, who is currently dead, but virtually he's still alive, and he has some choice words for this. So here's his perspective, and we can talk about it.
Yeah, I think the problem with this guy is that he's being very disingenuous. A lot of it's coming from a place of entitlement, and I think some of it's coming from a place of ignorance. Especially when he said this, when he basically said that some of these black people have inferiority complexes, bro. That's very, very cruel. Very cruel. Now, let me explain why. Black people rock black people stuff all the time for free. I grew up when black people were rocking Fubu for free, Crocodile for free, Cross Color for free. They're about one paying them anything. People rock Hebrew Brantley stuff for free right now. They probably, and then we started talking about Rolex. We have to understand also that a brand like a Rolex is an asset. People buy Rolexes, yeah, for maybe status and to look cool. I was not argue with that, but these are assets. You can get it at a direct price. You can turn around and resell these things, and these things still worth a lot of money. So these are assets. His brand is not an asset. Now, I'm not saying Nike's an asset. I'm not saying Gucci's an asset. But at the same time, you can't compare a brand that is being launched, a bootstrap brand, especially with, that has no brand recognition. And then basically say, well, why should I pay $100,000 to be rocking anybody else stuff? Well, enforcers are charging people all kind of money right now. Bro, there are people that are full-time enforcers, and they get paid, bro, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, bro, just to talk about ILO, just put an item next to their video. So what they ask for is not wrong. You want to cash in on their brand equity, but you don't want to pay for marketing. These people, you want them to be your commercial, but you want them to advertise for free. Doesn't make any sense. You want them to be a walking billboard, but you don't want to pay them. That doesn't make any sense. And then you want to say, okay, well, you have an inferiority complex. So he doesn't understand the context, man. That's why I always say context is important. And just because somebody said, look, man, pay me X, Y, and Z doesn't mean I have inferiority complex. It just means that I'm going to be bringing so much value to your brand. I'm going to be scaling your brand, so I need to be compensated for that. No. What he needs to try to do is find ways to ingratiate himself with people that automatically love the brand, love the concept, and will rock it for free anyway. That's how you do it. You start on the grassroots level. If he doesn't understand that, then when people start wearing it, you're going to have people say, oh my goodness, what's that? Let me rock that. And then they'll rock it for free. And then one day you're going to be, oh snap, somebody's wearing my stuff. And he didn't even have to ask them to. So yeah, he has inferiority complex. Again, that's my opinion.
Man, so that was a good response. I'm elevating your brand. I need to be compensated. Now we can debate that 100K value, but it might depend on who you're talking to. I know Snoop Dogg, who a lot of you still there, D?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
I know Snoop Dogg, who a lot of people are upset with. A couple of months ago, he was on the Pivot podcast. He said, "Look, I start off at 250. I start off at 250. So for me, if you can bring 250 to the table, I'll rock your brand. I'll do a little commercial. I'll get my video production team. We'll go on YouTube. We'll run a commercial for you. I got you. But I mean, it depends on how high you go. If I go and get Jeff Bezos to promote something personally, yeah, he gonna tax me a little different than what the Black Comic Lord is gonna tax. If I go to Blurred Nerd Girl or whatever on YouTube that's got a lot of followers, if I go to Ernie with Blurred Without Fear and he decides to do it, he might hit me for a certain price. And he's not wrong, because I'm taking your brand that is unrecognizable to another point. And we got to stop acting like white folks don't do that with white folks. Absolutely they do. It ain't about so his other point was find people who are willing to do it for free. Grassroots, start small, build it up. You can't, Rome wasn't built in a day. And even for us, I mean, eventually we're going to go to a piece of, I want to come on your show and promote my comic book, where there needs to be some type of compensation because we're helping you to scale your brand. And you're just not going to pull up on our show, here's my book, and leave and say, bye. Thanks, Comic Lords, give us a kiss on the cheek. I mean, we need something too. We're helping you, help us. Well, that's not support. Well, support us too. Everybody should be able to support each other. It should be a 360 circular thing, right? Because we can get anybody to come. Obviously, we just had Jet McKay. We don't have an issue bringing people on our show. It's not an issue. So we're not going to ask you for $100K. We're not doing that. We're not probably even going to ask you for $100. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some type of compensation. Oh, here's a copy of my book. That's it. That's enough. I shouldn't have to. I got into it with a brother. We cool now, but I got into it with a brother a couple years ago about that. He wanted me to scale his deal, and I was like, "Hey, man, send me a copy." He was like, "I'm like, okay, well, don't worry about it." I mean, if you can't even give me you can't even. That's what they. But nowadays that's what they're doing. And maybe this was at the time where you just supposed to do it because we black. But nowadays, people will send you a care package. People will send you a media package with all some goodies in there. Even when I order stuff, man, they throw extra stuff in there in hopes that I talk about it.
Yeah,
You know
press
what I'm saying?
kit.
So
You need a press
kit, man. Just send me
Yeah.
a press kit. Take care of me. Take care of my team. That's how business is done. Because that's gonna make a difference between me holding up a bar of soap, say, yeah, man, this is great soap. Y'all should buy it. All right, next topic. You know what I'm saying? Or me saying, man, I use this soap. It makes me smell fresh when I'm with my girl. Like, how far am I gonna go in now? It depends on how much you took care of me. That might be financially, or that might be something else.
Right. I mean, honestly, man, when it comes to this, I mean, if black people bought comic books like video games and sneakers, we'd be okay.
Bro, oh my God.
We'd be okay. If it's just something we're just not into, we just expand the market. That's it. Give a comic to a friend, get people more interested in it. We're just at a market cap right now. There's a finite amount of us buying these books, and we got more books than we have customers. So not everyone is going to funnel through and make it, unfortunately.
Guess what else? Let's move the money out of the way.
Okay.
Let's talk about the niggerum tree that's going on. I don't want to support it because it's black, so it might be low quality.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of the sentiments that come out that people think. Listen, as an admin of Black Comic Lords, I see a lot of people push Kickstarters in there all the time. I'll give y'all a little behind the scenes. Probably shouldn't do this. I see a lot of things that I have a 6-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. I see a lot of things that my 6-year-old could top. And she's not a skilled artist. And they are seriously trying to push it. There's a lot of people of the mindset, well, he's a brother, he's a black man, you should still try to push what he's doing. Well, reality check. If I put in a load of crap inside of my brand and allow it to be promoted, what does that make my brand now? What does that say about what we're doing over at Black Comic Lords? What does that say about what we're doing with Black Comic Lords? Well, it shouldn't matter because it should. Bro, everybody don't think like that. Everybody don't move like that. People want good quality stuff.
Yep, especially for these prices.
Especially, and then charging $20. And basically all you did is that you took a picture of yourself and then you several pictures of yourself moving through your house. Like I see a lot of that too. I don't know what type of style comic book that is, but I see a lot of people take actual pictures, change the
filter.
The filter, and then that's their comic book. That's their comic book.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's so bad. And guess what? I dare you to say something about him in public as a black person. You will get jumped for that. Oh, he's just an independent creator, and why are you attacking him? And that's why I don't say anything. But it's not guaranteed your stuff gonna get posted either.
Right.
It's a funny thing, man. And we got a lot of good stuff. I'm gonna tell you something else. We got a lot of good independent stuff that they just need to finish it. Dude, there's a lot of people that come in there with drawing. Oh, I'm working on my concept, bro. 2 years later, you got another panel. 3 years later, you got another. All right, bro, finish it. It probably would have sold years ago. Finish the project. Stop teasing us with all these dope panels and dope covers, and you don't have a finished product. Come on, man. What are you trying to do? Farming?
Yeah, at that point, it's overcooked. Yeah, I understand that process. It's you're just not lining it up right, and it's just like it's coming out. You're baking it. It's overcooked at that point. You're like, you should just released it 6 months ago, a year ago. Like, how you can't promote a book for 2 years and then You know what I mean?
Or
With little teases and then expect big sales. I mean,
I
come on.
understand what folks are doing. They're taking their toe and they're sticking it in the water and they're trying to test to see, okay, what's the pushback going to be? Are people going to
Mhm.
be on top of this? If it's really good art, it's a really good concept, really good story, they are. But you're gonna have to get a big chunk of your Kickstarter. Also needs to be marketing and promotion. Let's look at Captain America 4. They are throwing out all the stops last week for how much they was promoting this darn film. And my thing is, you're gonna have to spend some good money and go on some. The hard part is if you're selling to black people, you can't just go into a blur space and push a comic book because it's that's blur spaces are wide open. You're competing against everything.
Mhm.
Trying to go to just a comic book space, good luck. A black comic book space, good luck. Because other than Black Comic Lords, BSF, and maybe one other page, nobody. A lot of admins don't even allow you to post comic books. They think comic books are nasty work.
Mm.
So you got to go on Discord or
Yeah,
YouTube. You have to promote.
you got to
And, and,
promote, man.
and posting in our space is not good enough. That's only a small fraction of
Mhm.
the market that's out there. So I mean, I don't know.
I would say you guys have that. You guys are the club. You guys are like the studio in New York City. Like I've told you this before. You guys have that appeal. Like if I get my book in BCL, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Or you
Man, I can't believe you said that over the air. Listen, I don't even believe that. I believe it's timing. I believe it's timing. And guess what? There's been some times where I've seen books that are not so great, but we were on like this independent kick in the space. So I'm talking about the space. I
Mhm.
mean, what y'all talking about? And on our Facebook page, that's like one of the main hubs. They're our largest hub. And
Yeah.
everybody would start to throw out their independent stuff, and it got hot, and then everybody just started buying. But that's like a seasonal thing, like Black History Month. Everybody wants to be pro-black. But come March 1st, you can't find a Black History fact. You can't find a black superhero
Bro.
nowhere. Or a lot of these
Man.
influencers, the content creator space, they don't even want to talk about black stuff. They just want to check in when it's Black History Month.
Dude, Black History Month is even that's maxed out. I know a lot of creators who put their book on Kickstarter for Black History Month thinking that okay, this is my time of the year to shine. Book's still not funded. They're still struggling because it's just a max cap. It's just not enough people, not enough interest. It's just at the moment, it's
Mr.
just not there.
Mr. DC Comics asked a good question. Who are the best black writers in the comic book industry? That's a question that's unknown for most consumers who are heavyweights right now. Are they Marvel or DC or Indies? I mean, honestly, there's indie guys that's on Marvel and DC. I can't even think about a ton of people that used to write for Marvel and DC, but indie guys story wise that I like, and I like the way they set up their panels for independent creator that probably has no formal training on how to do this stuff. I like Freestyle Comics and I like Concrete. So I mean, but I know they're more of the bigger. I don't know. Maybe you could call them bigger. I don't know. I don't know who's the biggest, but I like them. I like the way they set their stories and their panels. Freestyle Comics. I was really, really big into 5 Star. We just don't promote, man. We don't promote other people's stuff because it's like, okay, I'm doing it for free. And then when we promote, it's like it's not even catchy. There's a guy that promotes all the time in our space, but every post is just like the last one, and so you just think that it looks like spam. And then I
Yeah.
think there's people that post stuff that they don't even care if people read it; they just want to post it.
Hmm.
Like, what's the point? You like, oh, yeah, I just want to get this out. Like, bro, you want to do it to where it's triggering, it's eye catching, or something that's about that makes it different from your last post. But that's all marketing 101.
Yeah.
Unless you already have a fan base. But
I dig Greg Burnham, Ronnie Barnes, and Jeffrey Thorne a lot. So those will probably be like maybe just off the dome, kind of like just top hitters in terms of quality writing, in my opinion. But
listen, go ahead. Go ahead.
but also going to say like you talk about quality in these spaces. We actually I got my boy Nigel Lynch. He has his book right now on Kickstarter, and it's solid work. solid storytelling.
Mhm.
I could not, in good conscience, go through this with the discussion we're talking about and not give everyone a heads up on this book. So hopefully, this will be able to. Let's see if this will play here.
I don't think it will on your end.
Oh shoot.
We'll
No,
talk
it's not
about
playing.
we'll
But
talk
we'll
about it
talk
on
about it
Friday.
later.
We'll talk
Yeah,
about it
on
on
Friday
Friday.
we'll do it.
I'll say
Yeah,
this.
maybe get them on.
I'll say this. We got to get out of here because I got to walk in the door. However, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna end with a joke. End with a funny thing. Saturday, I found myself laying on my couch. I'm a house full of girls. I got 2 girls and a wife, and I'm bored. I'm going through the Disney thing. I'm like, oh, here's the Marvels. I got a house full of women. I saw it bootleg last time. Let me kind of just scroll through some of the cool parts. Shout out to Monica Rambeau because she kicked some butt in there. Like, she's the reason why the lady lost. I'll just say that. She was
Mm-hmm.
the best fighter. But I want to show you this scene, and I want you to tell me what it's a nod to. I want everybody to tell me what it's a nod to. And I didn't catch this the first time. And I'm sure there's a bunch of people in the comments going, oh, that's so simple. I can't believe you missed it. Watch this scene. I want you to look at it very carefully. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what happens.
Lady of Light. Ooh, frequency. No. Pulsar. No. Pulsar. Light lady. Absolutely not. These are too much, right? Definitely. No.
It was a callback to her Captain Marvel original costume with that cape for the arm capes. Did you see that?
Oh, I
Oh
completely
my God.
missed that joint, yo.
Right. Right. I completely missed it.
I
And
missed that.
they could have incorporated, because I think her suit was it was meh, but they could have made something kind of sensual, kind of sexy with the
Mm-hmm.
little cape. But she would have but everybody else's outfit was very simple and basic, and that would have been a little too much. Probably didn't really match up with what they had going on.
I mean, to be honest, anything Tiana Paris wears is gonna look good. So
It's gonna look good.
it's gonna look
But that
good.
was a callback, and they kind of went through her different names: Pulsar, Spectrum, Photon. And then she said, "This is a little too much." It looked like a curtain from something. So she took it off and she threw it to the side, and that was a nod to her original costume. I thought that was dope. And when I saw that, I said, "Man, I can't." The movie was so bad. I guess.
You forgot. I mean, what were you
Oh man,
expecting? Yellow and blue spandex?
the movie was just.
Oh man, yeah.
It
I
was
mean, the
bad.
Marvels are the Marvels, man.
But guess what? It's the minus the scene of the dancing that did not need to happen. If the Marvels would have dropped around the heyday of the MCU, it would have made close to $1 billion. Easy.
I mean, that's what
Easy.
Captain Marvel did. You know what I mean? That's what the
Captain
first one
Marvel
did.
made, yeah, and it wasn't good. As a
It
matter of
wasn't good.
fact, I actually would watch this before I watched the old Captain Marvel. Oh, and that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people said they liked it, but everybody killed it. It was.
There's no
was just
replay
weird.
value to that first one, man. It's a meh. Very mediocre film. Very mediocre.
But guess what? And it made over $1 billion.
It
That's
did.
what I'm trying to tell people. It's not about sometimes how good the film is. It's about when it dropped.
When it dropped.
And that film, these films dropped at the right time, and we're never going to get back to that time anytime soon, bro. This is what it is.
It is
Listen,
what it is, man.
We got to get out of here, man. It's 8:44. We've extended our time. Check us out in the comments. I will be responding to comments all day. So if y'all got something else y'all want to add, I'll jump on it. Just make sure. I mean, here's a weird thing people do. People will later in the day make a random comment as if I know. We talk about so much stuff. So please, 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 if you're gonna make a comment, put the timestamp or reference what you're talking about. Just don't just jump in and say, "Yeah, man, I thought that was cool." Like, what are you talking about? It could be anything. So
please give context.
Please give context, bro. It's so helpful. Anyways, guys, we will see you guys Friday. We'll have some more stuff. We're gonna pick back up with your buddy Allen's comic, and we'll talk about some more stuff. Maybe as far as Cap 4, I think Cap 4 at least will come in. I mean, I think every week he'll be just under the top number. So I think this week coming up, he'll be like $300 and like maybe $60
Mm.
million. Next week it might be like 390.
390.
And then every week it might go up a little increments, but I think
Little
he's going to be
increment.
in theaters 7 to 8 weeks. So he'll hit 5, and people will be like, well, he really needs to hit 6. If he hits 6, it needs to
He
be
needs
18.
his 7.
He needs to be
Yeah.
1.8 billion, man.
One-
All that marketing, I don't believe it's. They're always gonna push the goalposts back, but that's what they do,
Yeah.
man.
That's true. That's a good point, man.
All right, man. We out of here, man.
All right. Y'all have a good day. Peace.
Peace.